this video about rook endgame, we discuss the principle of the short side and the long side. This is an important concept to understand in the rook endgame. Let's take a closer look at this position. It's black to play, then it's a draw. Let's see why it's a draw. If white is pawn up and black is defending by stopping the pawn from the promoting, your rook should be on the long side and the king should be on the short side, just like in this example. Black rook has a 3 fight between itself and white king. As it's black to play, black start with rook a7 check. Here white have a two option. White can move its rook to the d7 or king to d8. Let's go with the king to d8 option. If king goes to the d8, then black keeps on checking and trying to move the king away from the pawn. Like rook a8 check, king to c7, rook a7 check, king to b6, trying to come closer to the rook and away from the pawn. Then rook will immediately move to the e7, attacking the pawn. As king is 2 square away, black can easily capture the pawn. Suppose white move its rook to the e1, then king to f6. Now defending the pawn is not easy. If rook gives check, we can capture the pawn. So king to d8 is not a good option. Now let's move to the rook to d7 option. Black will immediately move its rook to the a8. When you're playing as a black, moving your rook to the a8 is a perfect position to secure a draw. This stops the white king from moving to d8 or e8 and give a discover check. Also controlling the last rank. Remember this, only move your rook from a8 if it's absolutely necessary. For the black king, you can keep the black king on the g7 or g6 square and get ready to attack on the e6 pawn. From here, white have a 3 option. White can move its king to the d6 and go for the discover check. White can do the waiting move by moving its rook to the b7 or rook to d8 and ask for the exchange. Let's go with the king to d6. If white do so, it's a discover check. Move your king to the f6. Now black threatens rook to a6 check and capture the pawn. From here, white again have a 2 option. White can move its rook to the f7 and give check. You will move your king to the g6 and now white can't push the pawn, else the rook is gone. Instead of that, if white pushes this pawn to the e7, now rook to a6 check, king goes to the c7, and now you move your rook to the a8, again controlling the last line. If king goes to the b7, you will simply move your rook to the e8, and now you can easily capture the pawn and it's a draw. If not, if rook is asking for the exchange, give check from the a7, and now you can capture the pawn. Therefore, king to d6 will not work. Let's go with the waiting move, that is rook to b7. Now white did a waiting move by moving its rook to the b7. Black has a waiting move by moving its king to the g6 and keeping a rook on the a8. If king goes to the d6, black move its king to the f6 and threatening a6 check. When white leaves the e7 square, black will come closer to e6 pawn. White can give check from rook to f7, again king to g6, the same position arrives. If white move its pawn to the e7, instead of giving check by rook, king will follow with king to f7 move. King go to the d7 and then simply move your rook to the e8. White has to move its king away from the pawn, so king will go to the d6 and again rook will go to the a8, controlling the last line, and it's a draw. Now let's take the last option, that is rook to d8, and white is asking for exchange. If white play the rook to the d8, don't go for exchange. Simply give check from the a7, king goes to the e8, and now king to f6. If white move its rook to the d6, rook to e7 check, rook takes the pawn. In the next move, it's a draw.